Now, a weather update from the 4-Zone Weather Team, sponsored by Carabin Shaw.
All right, outside we go here at 1:33 this morning, an update. And hey, listen, we're going to talk about thunderstorms. There are thunderstorms moving into our area right now. Some of you probably have seen some lightning flashes and hearing a little thunder. You see the temperatures, the road conditions, they are predominantly wet. Where we do have icing outside of the hill country is really more on elevated surfaces, vehicles parked outside. The railing of fences and decks, things of that nature, have some glazing on them. The temperature is actually inched up. It was down around about 26, 27 in San Antonio. It's now up to 30. Freezing at Kelly Field here at Lackland. Alamo Ranch is 30. Helotes here 31. And that makes a big difference. We're not seeing as much sleet now because the temperature has come up, and you can see across our area. Everyone is freezing or colder. In fact, Bernie has dropped a couple of degrees. Now from 29 to 27, 18 Rock Springs. So we'll watch that later tonight. See if we do get a push of some colder air to come in, because anything that's wet has a chance to, ice over here. So that's kind of worth watching. But the interesting thing is that the system, this very dynamic system, must be throwing in a little bit of a surge aloft of some warmer air that's kind of translating down to the surface or bringing the temperature up. And you kind of see when you get lightning, it's pretty convective right now. So that's interesting to note. You see it there? Look at these lightning flashes we have. Zavala, Dimmitt County earlier, Frio, now Medina County, Atascosa into Wilson County. You see some of these lightning strikes here from Pleasanton to around Nixon, now going into Gonzales County. These are thunderstorms. And either it's a burst of heavier rain that could freeze on contact, that would be freezing rain, or you might get little hail or even sleet, sort of a sleet, little small hail combo here. Because these are thunderstorms. See that right there, Castroville? See the lightning strikes? These are cloud-to-ground lightning strikes near Divine. Here's one right here that just happened. So here's some thunder in Medina County, probably even Western Bear from Alamo Ranch from that thunderstorm right there. All right, it's really interesting to see here. Very dynamic system tonight. There you have from Atascosa County across Wilson County. Again, a pocket of some heavier rain. This is moderate rain that would be classified as freezing rain because it is below freezing in Wilson County. And, again, could get a little sleet, a burst of a little sleet, or some very small hail. And so that's what we have around right now, Bexar County. The sleet that we had earlier has really sort of migrated up to the north still, where it's colder up here from Kyle, working up through Austin area. There at Kerrville, another batch of some sleet that is moving in. In Bernie here, you see we have that little bit of a mixture, sort of a freezing rain, probably mixture at this point with some sleet up from Kendall into Kirk County. And then this is really just sort of sleet, maybe occasionally a little snow up here as you work from Austin north up 35. We'll take this out further west, our western zone. You see there are still a couple little patches coming in. And so we haven't quite hit the drier surge coming in around this area of low pressure just yet. That's still out to the west. So on occasion, we could still get more patches to develop and then spread across the area. Here's the big broad view. I'll show you the whole system. And again, this would be right about in here. That's sort of the back edge where the dry air is coming in. Once that goes across, that shuts everything down. But that is tremendous to see here. That's Arctic air at its finest here. It can do some wild things. And here you have this gigantic winter storm that is with Pacific moisture impacting a chunk of the country, not just a few states, but a chunk. All right, future radar here. This is at 2 o'clock. Again, so this would be scattered icy patches, freezing rain, sleet, or thunderstorms in the mix too. That's what we have here. And then as we advance this now a little further on, this is at 4 in the morning. You see still some lingering patches in the hill country, our eastern zone. And then that's it, kind of shut it down. The sun will come out tomorrow, and it's a much better day. It's still cold, way below average, obviously 36 degrees, but that's above freezing. And the power of that sun, even on a cold day, will really improve road conditions. It'll dry them out. Areas that have a little bit of ice or some sleet on them, it'll melt. So right now, the slick travel is predominantly up into the hill country from all the sleet you have seen up there. The rest of the area going with the caution. And it's really more for the bridges and the overpasses that are still going to be prone to some icing on them. But the roads have held their own in terms of being just wet. So the caution flag out here for a little while longer. Then my curiosity is that I think we may get a little bit of a temperature drop before daybreak. And do we get a little bit more icing here after spending a whole night below freezing? And then for your day tomorrow, if you have to be out and about running some errands, you're going to be in good shape here. Green light is out here, just a cold, sunny day. Right now, there's a look at the wind chill temperature in our area. Well, in the morning, you see that it'll run from the single digits to the teens across the areas because it's still going to be a little bit of a windy day. And so the afternoon hours still feels like it's in the 20s. And then Monday morning, instead of having a calm wind to start the day, it's still a little bit of a breeze, and we're down in the upper teens. 18, 19 degrees Monday morning, so that'll make it feel like it's in the single digits here. So with that said, we'll back this up here. I like to do this here on these half-hour updates, kind of give you, again, a look at the radar. So I'm going to cycle back through a number of my maps here that I wanted to show you tonight. Let's go back into one more click there. There you go. Again, you can see a little bit of thunder here. Look at that now in Bexar County, a lightning strike here around Government Canyon, Helotes to Alamo Ranch. Let's see if we can get back in there a little closer. Look, there you can see it right there. That's a cloud of ground lightning strike. So boom, hearing some thunder there, waking a few folks up. And again, a pocket of some heavier rain below freezing, so that would produce a little bit of glazing on the elevated surfaces. Or you could get maybe a little burst of some sleet or hail from that, very small hail, if you do get it here. But see that little collection of some lightning strikes here. We're going to continue to watch it for you here. Of course, news4sa.com, our YouTube channel, and our social media pages here. Continuous update all night long, periodically on the half hour here on News 4.